Hello and welcome to the More Cheese Less Whiskers.com live podcast. My name's Dean Jackson, and today we're talking with Mark Pettit just outside of London in the UK. And Mark has a nice business coaching consulting practice where he helps people gain clarity, get their vision right, get their goals straight, get their productivity down, and helps them with the business strategies to often 3 times their business in as little as a year. And so we built we spent the call here talking about how to really package that as a system that he can attract the right people. And you can imagine that one thing that we focused on was selecting a single target market and the importance of that and the leverage of it. And we had a great conversation. I think you're really going to enjoy this one. So I'll let you get right to it. Mark Pettit.
Good afternoon, Dean. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm very good. It's a real privilege to be speaking to you.
Well, I am excited. I got the whole hour blocked right off here. I've got my Evil Scheme patching notebook here. I'm in my favorite chair. It's a beautiful sunny morning. We got everything going for us. So
excellent. Are you in Florida or are you in Toronto?
No, I'm in Florida. Yeah, I understand. I got the report today that there's some snow up in Canada, so that's not for me.
No, I'm guessing it's still pretty hot over there, isn't it?
It's beautiful right now. Yeah.
Nice.
So where are you?
I'm in the UK. So I live in a town called Colchester, which is in Essex, which is about an hour outside London.
Okay, perfect. Which side of London? Where would that be? Is that on? I've been to
southeast.
Okay, I've been to. I've been around a little bit there. I went to. There's a place in Cheltenham called the Cowley Manor Inn, which is a really great spa. It was beautiful. Loved it.
Okay, good. Do you do you come over to London sometimes? Don't you do your breakthrough blueprint in London?
I do a breakthrough blueprint every year in London, the last week of June, and I've been doing that now for 6 years, and so next year will be the seventh year.
Wow. How time flies.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really good, because you do the breakthrough blueprints in a number of different cities around the world, don't you?
Yeah, I do mostly in Orlando all winter. Like I'm here now for the year, and then I go to each summer. I do a little world tour. So I go Toronto, London, Amsterdam, and Sydney, Australia.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's good. Nice.
Because you do so many different things, don't you? So that's pretty cool. You're going around because that's your product, isn't it? And that's just kind of you working with a number of business owners.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Yeah.
So
that's
cool.
Good. I mean, I've been I listen to I Love Marketing quite regularly. I've done for the last few years.
Well, that's awesome. So what's the Mark Pettit story here? What are we going to focus on today for us?
Okay, cool. So I'm a coach. So I'm a business coach.
Mm-hmm.
I set up my business. I've been going just shy of 2 years. Before that, I used to be managing partner in a 50-strong marketing agency in London. Working with a lot of FMCG brands, quite a lot of we did quite a lot of work with some alcohol brands. So we were rostered with Heineken. So we did a lot of their kind of B2B, a lot of their trade marketing, also a lot of big brand campaigns. So I was kind of, a mixture of client services director. So kind of, handling the kind of big clients in the agency as well as the kind of strategic growth of the agency and, working with, with the team and building the team up and coaching the team. But I decided. I mean, I've got a young family, and kind of traveling up to London and coming home late and all of that kind of thing. I decided I wanted to set up on my own.
Nice.
And I had a kind of, I guess when I was thinking about doing that, I could have gone down the marketing route and working with people as either a consultant or a coach, or kind of set up my own business. But I kind of decided that I wanted to kind of work with entrepreneurs across their whole business, which would also allow me to kind of bring in some of my, marketing talents to help them as well.
I love it. So what kind of clients are you working with now in that capacity?
Yeah, I'm working. I think that's one of the interesting things. I'm working with such a variety of businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working with quite a few solopreneurs. So it's just them and their business, and they may only be in the first couple of years of their business, as well as businesses which have between 5 and 10 employees, and I'm working with the founder, to help them kind of free up their time to a large extent, as well as helping them build the right structures and framework to actually really grow their business. So it's the kind of team-based companies as well as the solopreneurs.
Okay. And what kind of focus do you have in helping them? What's your approach?
Well, I think it's only some people have kind of come to me for different things initially. And then what happens is when I actually start working with them, we then get into the whole, everything to do with their business growth as well as freeing up their time. Mm-hmm. So, I've had people come to me in the first instance. So one particular client wanted to build a loyalty scheme. And I've had lots of experience building loyalty schemes in the past for, when I was, at the marketing agency. So that was the kind of route in. And then once I then started, I then started helping her build a vision for the company and freeing up her time and getting her to focus on the highest value activities. Mm-hmm. So that was the kind of route in. But then I've had other people which they've come to me because they want to completely free themselves up. Mm-hmm. They're just taking on, they've got too much responsibility, too many complexity, too many different things going on. And they needed someone to help them really simplify, set goals with them, hold them accountable for achieving the goals, and just kind of make them a lot more focused and a lot more productive. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, people have kind of come to me for different things. Some people have come to me because they know my background, because of my marketing background, and because, my strategic direction and, overseeing businesses. They've kind of come to me for that particular reason, gotcha. which I think is why it's made me it's a little bit difficult for me to kind of, from a proper activator point of view, in terms of having a absolute clarity on my single target market. Mm-hmm.
Well, the good news is that you don't have to only ever have one single target market. That's kind of the misconception that people have about Profit Activator 1. But when you're applying this model, like I look at this as an overlay, right? That you have to overlay and you create a completely different blueprint for each target market. So I say select one single market at a time, but you can easily have multiple ones, but it's hard to then lump them all in and try and do, especially a before unit marketing program for an umbrella term that people make up, like solopreneurs, or, that's kind of a thing that we make up as it sounds like a single target market, but it's not as specific, right? So what's your hope for today? What would be the things that you would want that we could talk about and maybe help you out the best with?
Yeah, I mean, I think, brainstorming some ideas would be incredibly useful.
Okay.
And I think it's working through the different processes. I mean, I guess I I work with. I have a reasonable amount of clients. I work with because the thing that I do at the moment, just in terms of from I don't know, let's call it a service point of view or an experience point of view. At the moment, my business is purely one-to-one.
Yes.
So, there's opportunity, and I think that one model to potentially move into is group coaching in the future,
Mm-hmm.
where, obviously that allows me to leverage my time a little bit more and create, an impact with a higher number of people,
Right.
as well as a mastermind in the future with working with, 10 to 12 different people.
Okay. So what are you the best at? What's the thing that if you could, say, this is the thing that I can really help people with the best?
I think one of the things is that I get people to really think about their business, and I'm good at asking questions, and I'm good at getting people to think a lot more into the future than they currently are. So I ask them questions about, getting clarity around a much, much bigger vision, which could be 3 years or it could be 5 years. So to get them to start thinking about what they really want to achieve in their business. Yeah. So to actually kind of help them create that framework. I'm also very good at helping people really understand their strengths, what they are best at, where they can add the biggest value to their clients and to their team. And I can get them, I guess I can get them a lot more focused and a lot more productive on what really matters to them in the business.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of business owners that I talk to, they're not really clear on what their own strengths are and how they can best move their business forward. So I guess a lot of the thinking tools or the questions that I kind of ask them get them to that point in time. But I guess if I had to, I just make people a lot more effective and a lot more productive.
Okay. And how do you measure that?
Okay. So I think there's two things. One is in terms of turnover. So most of my clients have seen increase in turnover in their business.
Okay. That should make for our largely American audience that turnover means more business, more revenue, more sales.
Yeah.
Not turning over your staff, which is what turnover means over here, but more, more revenue, more sales, increased revenue. Okay.
Yeah. I think that it's having more time. So, if I kind of work with people at the beginning and they're completely overwhelmed and stressed and stretched and all that kind of thing, if I can, I measure in terms of reducing their workload.
Yeah.
So they actually have more freedom.
I like this.
So I think that, those are more tangible measurements. I think the other, I guess the more intangible ones are they've got more clarity.
Yeah.
They've got more confidence. And they got more focus.
And what, how long do you typically work with somebody? Like what's a typical engagement look like with you to go through this process?
Yeah. What normally happens, so I work with people initially for a 3-month period.
Okay.
But what has happened with 90% of clients is that they've continued with me for at least a year, 12 months.
And how much do you charge for the 3 months for the first?
So I charge £3,000,
okay,
which is, I think it's kind of like circa
Same thing.
$4,500, something like that. Yeah,
that doesn't matter. It's the same. It's $3,000
yeah,
for
yeah.
a 3-month engagement. And in that, how often do you talk to them? How do you? Is it in person? Is it on the phone? Is it on Skype?
Yeah, so it's a mixture of the two. So, I mean, I personally prefer to work in person, but I do also work with people via Skype. And typically we'll meet either once a week for an hour, or we'll meet every 2 weeks for 2 hours.
Okay, once a week. Okay.
And I think a large part of that is because of the accountability side of things as well.
Yeah, I've got it. So then they're kind of like on a roadmap. And do you give them, are you taking people through a standardized process that you have that's a 12-week process, or are you, every one is original work that you're
Correct.
kind of
Yeah.
doing?
The latter, yeah. So it's kind of bespoke based on where they are in their business, where they want to kind of get to, what particular challenges that they're kind of struggling with, or particular areas of focus that they want to, build into their business.
Okay. And so through this process, every one is different. Everything is, every experience is different. It's not that you're taking somebody through kind of a curriculum.
I think that, I mean, I guess,
process.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my thinking tools and the way I kind of work is there's going to be a lot of familiarity and a lot of, I don't know, I guess repeating some of the ideas and some of the, way people can think or look at things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so part of this thing that would be, very interesting for you to look at is that, if you think about the way that you interact with people, even if it seems like you're doing original work and you don't come into it with a set standardized process for it, that if you on reflection looked back over the last 3 or 4 engagements, what percentage of the same would they be? I mean, where there's some overlap, if you were to say, well, with this client, we worked on this and this, and we did these exercises or thinking tools. How much similarity would one have to another? Are they 100% unique? Are they 20% unique? What would you say?
I would say that it's probably, I think that there's maybe about 50 to 60% of the same thinking tools, strategies, processes that I would work through with everybody. And then the rest of it would be unique. So maybe probably 60% things processes I would go through with everybody, in terms of, because there's a kind of, from a time management system way of working, from setting goals way of working, from building a vision way of working. So yes, there would be a process that would follow through with everybody.
Okay. And so part of that, when you look at that, part of the thing that's going to leverage you, that's going to make your, because right now, if you look at it, just the baseline of what you've got going, you're working one-on-one with people for, roughly $250 an hour is about what it works out to be, right? Do you have any homework or deliverables or anything that you do in between, or is it just the engaged time while while you're on the phone with them?
It's the engaged time. I mean, there are occasions where people will call me if there's if they've got a specific challenge that they're going through, and they need to talk it through outside of the time we get together, or they may send me an email about what do I think about X, Y, and Z, which I'll then go and answer. So there is a little bit of additional time. One of the other things that I do is Yeah, I mean, I'll also just send some very, very top line notes after the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so how many people do you work with on this basis? Like what are you, would the first dream come true for you be to have what would you consider a full practice?
A dream come true for full practice would be 25 people, one to
Okay.
one.
Yeah. So that 25 people, one to one, and that would be that'd be a great process. Just doing the same thing the way that you do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then how long, if I just push the accelerator pedal for you on that, then how long do you think that would be the dream come true?
I think that would only be the dream come through probably for about 6 months.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So what
Because
would
I
be
would
the
like
dream
to.
come true after that if we were to
So
push?
the dream come true after that would be to build a group coaching program.
Yes. And so would it be, are you opposed to, how far off of full practice are you right now?
I'm 12 people off.
Okay. So would it be okay with you to just skip that going to 25 people and jump right to the group program?
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, because that's it's often an interesting exercise to just kind of, that's one of my favorite things to do with people like that is to start to think like, let's push the accelerator pedal and see what this actually looks like. So that, yeah, because it's interesting that you had the foresight to realize that that's only going to last for about 6 months. And then you're going to say, okay, this isn't the dream that I thought it was, right? It's twice as much work as I'm working right now. And functionally, the little bit of extra money isn't worth it to, uh, to work that hard. It's not really going to change your life the way that, if we could figure out a group program where you could work less for more. So if that's the case, if we say that if we bring people on at for 90 days first, for 3 months, then what's your longest? If we were to say that 90 days is the one, what would be the longest running kind of client that you have?
The longest running client that I have is 15 months.
Okay. And how long do you see that kind of going on?
Realistically, probably, maybe another 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Okay. So if there's the thing where if you kind of think about, is it something that you could imagine that what you have is an 18-month process ultimately, that's, 3 months and then 6 months and 6 months and 3 months or something like that, right? Or 3 months and 3 months and then 2 6-month periods. That might be a good process for you, and that there might be is there an appetite for the way you're presenting it? Like, is it easy for you to get people involved with this, or is it do you have to kind of sell it or convince them of the benefits of it, or is it something they're seeking out?
Yeah, no, I mean they're not raising their hand. I don't think I don't have the volume of people raising their hand. To use one of how your examples. I have people inquiring. I don't have I don't have the volume of people inquiring that I would ideally want.
Right.
So I'm not in a vending machine scenario yet.
Right. And that's why when I was asking you is, first step one is we need to figure out what's the dream come true for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So dream come true for you would be not going to 25 hours engaged a week, that's a tough, that's 5 hours a day. And you know yourself that's a full day, right?
Yeah.
And you would be, I think you would, I'm impressed that you thought 6 months you could last, but that's a pretty, that's a grind compared to what your schedule is right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so looking at getting to where you could imagine this in the same amount of time that you're willing to put, that you could leverage that time and get more people, which definitely means a group type of thing. Now, what we also then have to figure out is what would be a dream come true for your clients. And it all has to come down to getting the economics of this right? Like the economics of marketing are that we exchange money for goods and services or outcomes, right? We're exchanging for a benefit, for an outcome. And so what we have to really come down to is, what is the benefit that you're going to be able to articulate to somebody that shows them the ROI of engaging with you?
Yep.
So what's the outcome that you could produce aside from, that you help people get vision and clarity and strategy so that in 90 days, this is the outcome, that if somebody would, point to their hope for the engagement with you, what is it that they're buying?
Yeah. So I think that the two key ones are more freedom.
Okay.
So high levels of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And increase in revenue.
Okay. Now, how much of an increase in revenue? Let's talk about that one, because if you can tie what you're doing to revenue, then that's the easiest thing to launch from, because that becomes then just pure mathematics, that then you're selling money at a discount, right? And how much extra revenue do you think you could help somebody create, or have you demonstrated that you can help somebody create?
Yeah, I guess probably the best one is 3x in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think where I kind of am at the moment is there's quite a wide sphere between of turnovers, and we all know that when you're turning over less than 100,000 a year, and it might be a 1 or 2 person business, it's a lot harder to create the revenue growth in a short period of time, and it's much easier to find ways to increase revenue growth when the business is turning over a lot more money.
Yeah.
If a perfect example is, your 9-word email. Your 9-word email is going to work a lot better with, a much better list, and the right kind of list than a smaller list to be able to show, the ROI. Or, I might, I could look at something in terms of how can I can work with people to increase the lifetime value of particular clients. Get them to spend a lot more money a lot quicker by focusing on getting people to actually understand who their highest value clients are. Or, their highest value activities that they could focus on.
Yes. Okay. And I think that really could go a long way. How confident are you in the strategies that you do that you would be willing to, bet your payment on being able to create that result?
I'm very confident.
Okay. So that goes a long way, right? Like that goes a long way to be able to, when you're finding the right people like that, when you're able to articulate the outcome. And of course, when I say that to people, right, I always say to people, what would you do if you only got paid if they get the result?
Yeah.
That's a interesting outcome. Now, could you, excuse me, could you do that? Could you create a result like that for somebody in 90 days, or would it take a year?
No, I mean, I think it could be done in 90 days. I mean, there's a number of different ways of looking at it, isn't there? I mean, your example that you just kind of said. I mean, I know that you've done that with websites, haven't you?
Yes.
Where it's creating the website and then being paid on. I think it's first order. I think something like that.
First transaction. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, you could kind of look. It's interesting, isn't it? It's for some people to actually make it self-liquidating.
Yeah.
That if it costs X amount for 90 days and you actually make that amount for them in additional revenue, it becomes self-liquidating.
Yeah.
Anything on top of that is a pure bonus.
Well, that sets up your 1 year program. I mean, if you could set it up that your 90-day program is going to set up your 1 year program.
Yeah.
That somebody pays you, $3,000 a month or $3,000 for the 90-day program, that you're creating enough money that pays for that plus the 12-year or 12-month program.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might be an interesting thing, right? Like get the fast wins and the setup for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good irresistible offer, isn't it? Is the fact that essentially, I mean, and there's a number of ways you could position it as well, isn't it? I mean, it's kind of, there's the way that you're talking about with a website where essentially you don't pay anything until you get your first transaction.
Yeah.
Or there's you pay for the coaching, and if in the 90 days we don't deliver in excess of that amount of additional revenue, you get your money back.
Right. And people say, it's really interesting because when I start talking about this with people, right, what I have to just point out is that I'm not, advocating at all times that everything you do has to be a don't pay till you get the results offer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that would be a great place to come from if you could. Yeah. But what I am saying is that if we look at a line that, a horizontal line that represents the spectrum of offers, right? On one end, at the one pole of the offer is all sales final, no refunds, no exchanges. That's one level of offer. On the other end is don't give me any money. I'm going to work with you. We're going to create the money, and then you pay me when this works. That's the other pole of this, with zero friction, zero resistance on that.
Yep.
And every offer that you're making lies somewhere on that spectrum between all sales final or you don't pay me until you get a result. And the closer that you can get your offer, the further you can slide your offer over to this is crazy. I'd be crazy not to do this. That's where it all comes. Because what you're finding from that, especially when you've got a process that you're confident in and works, that sometimes that was what I found with the websites was that sometimes it's less expensive to just get the result for somebody than it is to convince them to give you money to get the result.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. So you might find that you have to, some amount of your time or your process to engage with a new paying client involves talking to people and going through meetings and pitching your service, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not everybody takes it, so there's some cost of it to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Some cost of your time and money. How do you find people right now that you work with? What's your process for filling your practice here?
Okay, so there's a number of different ways. So I guess primary is referrals from existing. I get some work from being kind of referred in different Facebook groups.
Mm-hmm.
There's my own Facebook page. Where I put a lot of my articles out or thought pieces, and some people get in contact with me on the back of that.
Yeah.
I have LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So again, do a lot of different, building relationships, posting articles.
How do you
pieces.
classify yourself on LinkedIn? How do you title yourself?
LinkedIn's an interesting one because I've kind of moved away from. So I guess in my my headline piece within LinkedIn, it's kind of freeing up your time, doubling your productivity, multiplying your business growth, and then in the kind of summary underneath, it's kind of I then have my kind of title, I guess, business coach, helping ambitious entrepreneurs do X, Y, and Z.
Okay.
And then I guess the other thing that I do is I write. So I write for Lifehack.
Oh, nice.
So I think I've written like 10 articles for Lifehack.
Okay.
On a variety of different things. One of the thing about Lifehack is that they give you pitches, so they give you articles to write based on your area of expertise. So mine is productivity for them. So I write a lot about productivity, a lot about mental strength, work-life balance, all of those kind of things, which is great from a building more visibility and awareness of what I do. I haven't really advertised or pushed this too much. I created quite a simple kind of productivity mastery daily planner, just in terms of a piece of content. And what I've done is I've kind of promoted that a little bit to different Facebook groups and my Facebook page to begin to build up my list. But my list is not particularly big. It's only kind of 100 people.
Okay. And so those 100 people, you'd probably are including people that you've already worked with or you're working with right now?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all part of it then. In order to really build this group thing, we're going to need to figure out how to what we can do that's a controllable way for you to build your list up. Do you have anything that you're doing paid ad wise to build your list?
I haven't done so yet, no. So I was thinking that I was considering using the daily planner as the content piece to do some ads around. And then what I intend to do to kind of use that. And then in January, I'm going to create a productivity guide. How you can maximize your productivity, which again would be something that I would use. I guess I see a number of people kind of having almost like content upgrades. So if they write an article, then there'd be something else on the back of it to learn more as a way of building your list. I haven't kind of done that so much. I've just kind of focused on creating the planner, and then I'm going to do a productivity guide, and then I'm going to do a guide to goal setting, and then I'm going to do a guide to time management.
Okay, so all of these things that, part of this is that you only need one to start the ball rolling. Like, a lot of times people want to get all their ducks in a row, right? Like, get all these guides and stuff. But the fact is, you just need one piece. You need to get moving on advancing people through your process here, right? Like, because right now there's there's probably, you probably have more exposure than you actually have contacts. There's probably more people who read your life hack articles, read your the stuff in the Facebook groups and all of that, but you don't know who they are. You have a lot of kind of invisible followers, maybe. And so part of it, you're in the perfect time of year, actually, if you really think about it, right now, coming into ramping up for planning for next year. That's kind of it's made, because right now people, they're at near the finish line for the year, and they may be kind of tallying everything up and realizing they're either falling short of their goals, or they're right on target, or they need a last push at the end here to get across the finish line of their goals. But either way, they're kind of, it's definitely an inflection point, right? This last 6 weeks of the year. So it could be the perfect timing for you to have that kind of thing out there.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Now, part of the thing would be so much of the response rate to anything is how the titles of stuff work. Like, what would be the title of your planner, or your and I would definitely package up the planner along with something, as a context for it, rather than just planner.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's all about maximizing their productivity.
Yes.
So it's about simplifying their day. So it's got a section where you only lay out 5 things you're going to focus on each day. There's a little space to lay out what they're doing in their morning routine, and then there's a little space at the end to kind of, from a gratitude perspective, in terms of what they've achieved each day.
Yeah.
So it kind of it simplifies and gets them more focused on, I guess, their most important activities of the day.
Yes. And that's kind of, it's interesting. I don't know if you follow Brendan Burchard.
I do.
Okay, so perfect example of, high performance habits is a really great title right now. That's what he's going out into the world with. And, he had, before high performance habits, he had a 1-page worksheet of how millionaires plan their day.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing, right? Is because there's a lot of curiosity around that, a lot of stuff around, and the implication is that this is what these people, when you're saying you're working with people who would be aspiring millionaires or aspiring, successful entrepreneurs. So when you start thinking about that, part of the thing might be to think about what would be the approach, or the difference, the differentiation between your approach and just a planner per se.
Yeah.
And what is your approach? I mean, what would be different about that? What would get somebody's attention? Or do you have anything that when you do offer it, that it seems to be well received?
I think that, I mean, the thing that I guess the thing that's best in terms of being well received is my coaching
Uh-huh.
and my articles. I mean my articles on on Life Hack. I mean they all kind of range from like over 12,000 views. So they get a reasonable amount of views.
Yes.
So I think that and I get quite a lot of positive comments on the articles I write because they're all quite actionable.
Yes. And so it sounds like you don't have a call to action in your life hack articles, though, then.
No, you're not you're not able to. Ideally, it would be perfect if you could, but no,
Okay.
you're not able to put CTAs in there. But all of every single article that I write outside of that for my website that I
Yeah.
then post, there's a CTA. So,
Yeah.
the CTA is to download my productivity planner. It's to join my email list. Or there's also a CTA in terms of scheduling a call with me.
Oh, okay.
So there's if you use the your I don't know, I guess your super signature, there's kind of
Yes.
three next steps that people could kind of go through with me.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I was looking for from you is some how to really get those that process started, where you're starting with one thing and then leading to the next sort of progressive things that somebody could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any um, coaching or guidance or philosophy around planning that makes the planner work or that it's different?
I think it's the idea of there's lots and lots of people putting articles out there and talking about the benefits of creating a morning routine, and everything's about morning routine and doing
Right.
all of that kind of thing up front. I
Yeah.
think sometimes it's the second area of the actual, at the end of the day, actually expressing your gratitude and actually looking at what you've achieved during the day and then setting up the next
Interesting.
day. So I think that's where the planner includes both setting up the morning routine, but then also looking at your achievements to kind of create that building momentum and then setting up the next day.
And that could be an interesting distinction in itself that that it's the how end your day. That's kind of an interesting that's an interesting approach. Everybody puts a lot of emphasis on the beginning of the day. It's starting your day, your morning routine there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that is a nice point of difference, isn't it? Is to kind of focus on, because I think it's the whole gratitude thing, isn't it? It's just sitting, taking a step back, looking at actually what you've achieved, thinking about what you've done, and then setting yourself up for the next day, which a lot of people just don't do. They just kind of finish their day, and that's it, and then they do whatever, wake up in the next morning, start again.
Right. So what it has to come down to then is, if we look for you, the progression, is that having a specific planner, and are there a specific type of entrepreneur that you work with? Is there anybody more than another? Like when you say solopreneurs, what are they? What kind of businesses are they running?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are running creative. So a lot of the solopreneurs, they're running creative businesses. So whether that's in a marketing space, in a PR space, in a photography space, in a branding space.
Yes.
Which I guess there's the because of my background, because of my marketing background, there's a nice synergy there.
Yes. And so part of the thing that's a very specific differentiator is thinking about, photographers, for instance, as as a specific target audience, or designers, solo graphic designers. Freelancers is really what they would be, right? Somewhere between free, it's kind of what they would consider freelance or agency, kind of, on their way, that they want to have a nice design business. So the beauty of Facebook is that it perfectly allows us to do what I talk about in Profit Activator 1, which is select a single target market. Right? You can target your message just photographers. And have a planner that is specifically for photographers, right? And if you start thinking about those kind of things, like if you were, there was, if you start thinking about like the millionaire photographer, or something like that as an aspiration that you're helping people move towards, or the $1 million photographer, or what would be their dream come true, 6-figure photographer, whatever that makes sense, right? That if this is the planner that is the foundation for building a 6-figure photography business, or a $1 million photography business, then that's kind of a that'd be a great way to go.
Yeah, and I guess that's an interesting way of looking at it, isn't it? It is in terms of focusing on those different areas, whether it's photographers, designers, marketing agencies, PR agencies.
Yeah,
and then creating a specific piece of content. I guess it's whether the planner is a strong enough entry point, or whether it needs to be something a little bit stronger, whether it's around goal setting for X, or whether it's around time management for X. Because the time management and freeing people up is, as you well know, is one of the biggest challenges many entrepreneurs face.
Yeah,
just simply managing their time.
Yeah. But you look at the way, like, I use often as an example, since we're talking about photographers, one of the biggest examples that I use is a photographer actually in the UK that they have a website called WeShootBottles.com. And that's all, when you go to that website, all it is beautifully photographed bottles, packages. If you have a product that's packaged in a bottle, you're going to feel like this is the place for me, because there's so many examples of beautifully photographed bottles. Now, that may seem like a limiting thing for a commercial photographer, which this company is, but they also have then a sister website called WeShootCans.com.
Yeah.
And so when you look at this, what I'm talking about with this planner is that you can have a planner that's specifically geared towards photographers, and reinforcing the habits and the activities and the focus that a growth-oriented photographer would need. Same thing with a growth-oriented PR specialist, that you can focus it like that, which makes it seem like, even on the surface, this is the planner for me, rather than one of those generic planners, right?
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
the curiosity and the specificity of that is always
Yeah.
at a premium.
Yeah.
I was just speaking at an event this last week, and one of the things that I always love to do, if I can, when I'm speaking about converting leads and lead generation, that I like to go into the pharmacy here, and I like to buy a bottle of Excedrin migraine and a bottle of Excedrin extra strength. And
Mhm.
you always pay at least a 30% premium for Excedrin migraine over Excedrin extra strength. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about it is that it's the exact same pill.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
zero difference in the ingredients, but you're paying a premium because it's, packaged to tell you this is good for migraines. And so
Yeah.
if you're thinking about the daily plan for growth oriented photographers, or the $1 million photography planner, that's much more specific in two ways. It's
Mhm.
specific in that it's calling out to them as exactly what they are, but it's also then calling out to them with in alignment with what their aspiration is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Excedrin example is really good because it's all about it's being packaged and targeted, isn't it?
Yes.
It's been packaged in the right way, and it's targeting people who suffer from migraines.
Yes.
So it's very specific,
Which
very, very targeted.
they perceive that a migraine is different than a really than a regular headache.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and yes, and people who experience migraines will tell people that it is very different from a headache. So,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's also, it's quite when because a lot of the stuff that you did in the past, wasn't it, was a lot in real estate.
Yes, absolutely. Still is.
Still is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
mean, we have a whole division of our business that's exclusively for real estate agents. And there's the perfect example. So on the front end of this, I have a book called uh, Listing Agent Lifestyle, which is
yeah.
the exact words that are appealing to a real estate agent. They want to be a listing agent, but they don't want to have the traditionally success in real estate is counter to having a nice lifestyle, right? It's very time consuming. So to combine those words, and in it, I lay out a 8-point plan for 8 elements of living the listing agent lifestyle. And so I use that. It's a short book. I did it with I have a company called 90-Minute Books, and we create,
Yeah.
short lead generation books. So I did a 90-minute book. I advertised that on Facebook in the last, I'll spend, say, $25,000 a quarter um, on ads to generate 7 or 8 thousand leads from that, and lead that to I do a weekly podcast called Listing Agent Lifestyle, where I'm highlighting all of the things about the listing agent lifestyle, and doing things like this, More Cheese, Less Whiskers, where I'm working with a real estate agent to help them plan their plan for the listing agent lifestyle. And then I lead people into my GoGo agent membership platform. And so that whole thing flows where it's all started by selecting a single target market.
Yeah.
Even when you say real estate agents isn't enough, I'm specifically focused on people who are attracted to the idea of being a listing agent, you know?
Mhm.
And that's the model.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the model.
So that's the aspiration, isn't it? That's the aspiration that they're looking to try and achieve.
Yes. And so part of the thing that you have as um, as an opportunity is if you were to pick, because you're starting from scratch, really, in a way that you've got some clients right now that are a great baseline for you, that you've got a good income, you've got some stability in that. You're not like scrambling to try and figure out how to make some money to get by here. You've got a baseline, and you've also got some freedom. You've got some extra time because you're only at half what a full practice would be. So I'm saying let's redeploy. Instead of aspiring to get that to 25, let's focus on redeploying that time in building a system that gets you all the photographers.
Yeah.
And if you pick one, that's your key, because now you can create a system to help them, um, grow their business, and all the assets and the insight and the tools that you're creating will be equally applicable to other photographers. And so you're kind of building something that will be easier to do as a group.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, potentially with the irresistible offer that we kind of touched on earlier, that's a really interesting route in, isn't it?
Yeah, because now what you're doing is you are creating, in the first time that you do it, you're creating case studies,
Yeah.
So you start with your N of one study, and that would be one photographer, and you give it your all for the next 12 months here, and you document everything you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point. The whole kind of, I think one of the things when you kind of go through and you work with people, and you even though some of the themes and some of the tools and some of the concepts are the same, it's all about actually laying it out and documenting.
Yep.
Because sometimes when you're kind of in it, you just kind of, even though you're doing it, you haven't laid it all out. There's not an incredibly clear structure around it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And now once you've done it and you've got a case study, now it's just, you've got the algorithm, you've figured it out. Because the good news is photography, among, of a lot of things, photography requires being local. Like photographers, there's not a lot of, it's not a business that you can have a kind of broad area. Most photographers are focused very locally,
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that I always kind of help quite a few of my clients with is to raise their prices.
Yes.
So that obviously, just a simple act of raising your prices actually, makes quite a tangible difference to revenue very quickly.
And there we go. Okay. And that's the same. Yeah. And that would be, I think that's a great, plan there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a good roadmap, isn't it? To just to kind of lay out and, and actually kind of build something. I think that what this will allow me to do is to actually kind of take a step back and lay out what a 3-year vision would be for this.
Yes.
And then begin to then work back and then lay out very clear 90-day goals.
Yes.
Around things. Okay.
Brilliant. I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's it's always inspiring to kind of sit down and go through this with someone like you, Dean. So very much appreciated.
I enjoy it. I think you got a great plan. So let's stay in touch, because I'd love to see how this progresses for you.
No. I definitely will. I'll drop you an email are you still doing the I Love Marketing podcast? Is it weekly you're doing it currently?
We don't do it weekly. Joe and I together, we put out, there's always something out there, but we were just together in Chicago and mentioning that we would need to get more on a regular schedule. But I'm putting out these podcasts, More Cheese, Less Whiskers, every week. And then I do one with Dan Sullivan called The Joy
You
of
do the procrastination one, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I've listened to a few of those. They're very, very good.
That's a fun podcast too.
Yeah, because it's a massive challenge that a lot of entrepreneurs are facing.
That's it.
To make it.
That's right.
Absolutely. Okay. It's a pleasure, Dean. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to run through this.
Thanks, Mark. I really enjoyed it. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Dean. See you.
Thanks,
bye.
And there we have it. What a nice episode. It was a good conversation. I really enjoyed talking with Mark. Now, I think that starting out with, you can help solopreneurs or, small business owners with clarity and productivity and focus is a different sort of thing than helping photographers build $1 million practice. And there's a different thing when you get very specific with not only who this is for, but what the outcome is, where, the promise of where the benefit, just like what I mentioned about with the real estate focus of the listing agent lifestyle, that there's a outcome that people are really focused on. And so I think that Mark's going to really take some action here. He seems like an action taker. And so I asked him to stay in touch, and I'll keep you updated on what happens. But I think that this idea of having a specific planner for specific industries, especially with Facebook right now, allowing us to be able to target people by different categories, why wouldn't we? It's so easy, I'm always amazed when I walk into the pharmacy and, that the Excedrin migraine is always selling for a premium over the Excedrin extra strength, even though it's the same thing. One is generic, one is very specific. And I think that's the big lesson there for you. So here's what to do. If you want to continue this conversation, you can go to morecheeselesswhiskers.com. You can download a copy of our More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just click on the Be a Guest link, and we can get together and hatch some evil schemes for you. We talked a lot about the 8 profit activators. And if you'd like to see how all of that is affecting your business and watch a 1-hour video about the 8 profit activators from a presentation that I did at our live I Love Marketing conference, you can go to breakthroughdna.com. breakthroughdna.com, and you can download a copy of the Breakthrough DNA book that goes along with it. So that's it for this week. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next time.